What's up, everyone? Lethal here. Doing a little bit of a different thing than I usually do. I usually break down police content and, body cams, stuff like that, cell phone videos, etc. Yeah, not this one. This one's going to be a little bit different. So, as you all know, I'm a Chicagoan. I've lived in this goddamn city my whole life. I'm about to be 27. So I've lived here almost 30 years, right? Seen just about everything. I've never seen some shit like this. This video is courtesy of my good friend Police Activity. Scrolling through his profile and I saw it, and I dropped a comment on there and specifically said that I would break it down, and I am a man of my word. So I want to thank you, Police Activity, for showing me this gem. Without further ado, let's get into it.
This is the worst September for murders in Chicago since the 90s.
First off, and I'm sorry for those of you who are going to get irritated about me pausing it. If you want to see the whole video, I'm going to have his video in the comment section. So if you want to see the whole video interrupted without me talking first, go to the comment section. I'll have it linked in there. But first off, imagine you are watching the news and your mayor comes on screen looking like this. What in the fuck are you doing? Why the fuck are you dressed like that while addressing an issue that is so severe in the city? What the fuck is going through your head? I just... Her whole fucking bullshit during the coronavirus thing. If you haven't seen, go on Twitter, go on Instagram, and look at all the fucking memes that have been made about her, that we made about her. Her own citizens fucking made those memes because she was everywhere telling people to stay in the damn house, and fucking yelling at us and threatening to arrest people. And literally, the Chicago Police Department was like, arrest them for what? There's no criminal statutes that they've violated. Like, what crime have they committed? There's nothing we can arrest them for. Jesus Christ, this woman. All right, so let's continue with the video. Now that I got that out of my system, let's continue and hear what she has to say. And I'm gonna be pausing a lot. Again, if you want to see without my dumbass voice in here, go to the comments. Got the video linked in there. So.
This is the worst September for murders in Chicago since the 90s. That following closely behind July, one of the worst months for homicides since the record keeping began during the 1950s. What do you attribute to these high numbers, and have the lockdowns, no in-person learning in school, high unemployment, do you think that plays a part in it?
Well, I've addressed this issue many times, but I'll repeat myself for Amy's purposes.
Well, the fuck you haven't. When the fuck have you addressed this issue? Because the way I've seen it, you get asked this question a million fucking times and you always dodge it. You answer it with some roundabout bullshit. No, the fuck you have not.
This is a very difficult time in our city. There's no question about it. And when we think about public safety, we think about it in the context of a whole ecosystem, not just the police department and not just law enforcement. And what we know is that every part of the ecosystem, from the police, from our federal partners, the courts, the prosecutors, the community-based organizations that support individuals and families, every aspect of that ecosystem has been dramatically impacted by COVID-19. And so...
Do you see what I mean? I literally just fucking said it. She dodges the question and beats around it with some bullshit-ass monologue. And she literally just fucking did it. She asked you, what the fuck is the cause? And you went on a whole monologue of some bullshit about an ecosystem or some shit. Good God. Welcome to my life where I have to deal with this bitch as my mayor.
that ecosystem that we normally rely upon and brought us under 500 homicides last year hasn't been fully activated, and some parts of it are just now starting to get back up to speed. Nobody's happy with the September numbers. We had a better month in August. We got 3 more months to make progress, and I am confident that the superintendent and his team are working literally night and day.
Literally nothing they had to do with law enforcement was shut down during the whole citywide shutdown shit. None of it. All the Chicago police officers were still on duty. All units were active. Everything was going. So that was a fucking lie. 2, the whole COVID thing was your fault because you failed to shut down the city when you should have. You fucking waited that long. You should have put a minor shutdown in place way the fuck early on and limited stuff. But instead you didn't, and Chicago was literally like one of the second hotspots. I think it was like the second biggest hotspot in the fucking country, if I'm not mistaken. I'm probably wrong. I don't know the fucking numbers. I'm not keeping up with it anymore, but Chicago had a fucking huge outbreak. Let's continue with the video.
To make sure that the strategies that they are employing, the way in which they're deploying the resources, and the partnerships that we have created with community members, but also the other parts of this ecosystem, that those partnerships bear fruit and lower the shootings and the homicide levels. But one thing that is missing, and that is help from the federal government. Attorney General Barr came here.
Maybe because you told the president, fuck you. You do realize that the federal government is under no obligation to help your ass, especially when you're being a cunt. The whole city fucking hates you because you fucked with the federal government, so they're like, fuck you, we're not helping. And then Trump was like, all right, you know what? I'll help. I'll send in federal agents. And you told him no. When the riots broke out here, nobody did shit. None of the commanders, none of the brass, even the fucking mayor didn't do shit. They let them riot and loot to their heart's content, and nobody did a fucking thing. And then she comes on the news literally the next night saying how, oh, this is unacceptable, yada, yada, yada. Why didn't you stop it? Here's how bad it was. There was so much lawlessness that word got out on Twitter that the police weren't doing anything to stop it. So they loaded up a shitload of buses in Indiana and had a convoy of buses filled with people driving to Chicago to loot and riot. Chicago police saw this. They had a couple spotters out there. One of the spotters saw it. Put it out there like, hey, we got buses coming in. Well, what the fuck do we do? Not a single fucking Gold Star said shit about that. Not a single white shirt said a fucking thing. And for those of you who don't know, for Chicago PD and for a bunch of different departments, those who are higher ranks have white shirts on. So anyone who's a sergeant or higher usually has a white shirt. It's not every department, but for a lot of them, that's how it is. Especially with Chicago PD, if you're a Chicago police officer, sergeant and higher, you're wearing a white shirt. So when I say white shirts, that's what I'm talking about. None of the fucking white shirts did shit. None of them. The fucking radio was full of officers asking, what the fuck do we do? And there were no sergeants saying shit, no lieutenants. Not even the fucking watch commanders were fucking giving them input. Nobody said shit. The actual district commanders, silent. Nobody said shit. Like, what the fuck were you guys all doing? The mayor was MIA. David Brown, the superintendent of police, was MIA. Nobody was saying shit. It was actually a friend of mine who's a Chicago cop who I was hanging out with that day. He happened to be off duty, and he actually ended up getting called in. But at the time, he was off duty, and we were sitting there listening to his radio, and he heard that. This fucking guy was like, I've had enough of this shit. He's not a sergeant. He's a regular patrol officer. This motherfucker picks up his walkie and goes, shut down the fucking ramps now. Every fucking ramp coming into the city, shut it down. We're shutting down the freeway. Nobody gets in. And guess what? Nobody questioned it. They shut down all the ramps. And guess what? The buses were all diverted. And then, after that happened, the commanders got on the radios and seconded to that. They're like, yeah, shut down all the ramps, do this, and that. Really? Where the fuck were you guys when, the buses were offloading people? They had already, this is like their second trip. They'd already offloaded a whole shitload of people. Where the fuck were you when that was happening? Stupidity. Let's continue.
A few weeks back to do a victory lap on Operation Legend, which was a completely misplaced because those resources actually hadn't even gotten here at the time that he was taking credit for. What we need is common sense background checks and gun regulation, and we need that nationwide.
Whoa. Background checks and gun regulation. I'm sorry. Are you trying to tell me that it's fucking law-abiding citizens committing all these fucking shootings and murders? Is that what you're saying? Are you... Seriously, she's trying to say that? Good Lord. Tell me Alright. Let me show you guys a website here, real quick, while I got you here. My favorite website to go to. They get this directly from CPD and FBI. You're telling me that the 2,695 fucking shootings were all done by law-abiding citizens? The 3,252 total shot was all law-abiding gun owners? You're telling me that? Really? You really think the motherfuckers out there capping people are fucking gonna listen to your gun laws? Are you serious right now? You think it's us doing that? I have a FOID card. I'm a law-abiding gun owner. I legally own all of my firearms. You think I'm one of the motherfuckers out there doing this shit? Really? So I guess you haven't heard about the caravans of ghetto trash rolling around all the different neighborhoods and harassing your citizens. I'm sure you didn't hear about that same group who rolled up on a pregnant white lady and shot her with an automatic paintball gun. Luckily, they were able to save the baby. But yeah, it's totally the law-abiding citizens that are shooting people. Welcome to dealing with what I gotta deal with. This bitch is fucking stupid and she needs to get fucking voted out. Yeah, but if you guys really want to have an eye-opener, go to this website, heyjackass.com. And it's literally all the crime statistics for Chicago. They're all accurate. They get it directly from CPD. And actually, I think they have it listed what their sources are. Yeah, they got all this information here. It's a really great website. I highly recommend it. Yeah, here's our sorting source data and original. Yeah. I mean, they literally get it from reputable sources. This is the most accurate database for finding shootings and crime in Chicago. So if you guys want to have your mind fucking blown, go to this website. That's actually accurate. I have a buddy who's a homicide detective for Chicago PD, and I asked him, yeah, just about every 2 hours they hear about someone who was shot. Every 2 fucking hours. Yeah, and he's like, yeah, no, there's usually 2 or 3 people are murdered every day. Minimum. So yeah, if you guys want your fucking minds blown, go to this website. That's all I got for this one. Lethal out.